We began to untangle them
No,
with the
but Answers
passenger
it's a
vessel
service,
on
right?
a
Uh-huh.
ship
He
that
can
arrived
order
in
for
New
fifty
York
Uh-huh.
dollars,
in June
and he's
of
spitting in the tube,
1912.
and then they tell you
All
what
aboard were
percent
Nicola,
Italian you are and
his wife Conchetta,
who you related to.
and four of their children.
SS Duca d'Aosta,
Mm-hmm.
sailing from Naples, Nicola Lombardi, 34, peasant,
Mm-hmm.
Concetta, 34, wife. Isn't it amazing?
It's amazing.
To be an immigrant is to be as courageous as it comes. To
Right.
leave home without the idea that you might never be home again for a wedding, a funeral, or anything like that, and to go to another country. So I take great pride in the courage that they had to come to America and to take a chance on America.
The Lombardis were indeed taking a chance, traveling roughly 4,000 miles to end up making a new home in a foreign land. It was an awe-inspiring journey. But as we dug deeper, we discovered that this wasn't the first time that Nancy's grandfather had done it. This is another ship manifest on this side, with a list of passengers who arrived at the port of New York on December 8, 1901.
SS Columbia, sailing from Naples, Nicola Lombardi, 23, single.
Yeah,
Final destination, Vizsla, Rhode Island.
yeah,
Whether going to join a relative, Father Giovanni.
yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So he's headed to Natick, Rhode Island, where his father, your great-grandfather, Giovanni Lombardi, already lived. Did you know that name?
Never knew it. How about that? That is amazing. His father was here.
Yeah.
So he was the breakthrough for all of us. I don't know what any of us would have accomplished without his taking the giant step forward that he did.
Giovanni Lombardi is Nancy's great-grandfather and the original immigrant on this line of her family tree. He was born in 1854 in Fornelli, an agricultural town in southern Italy, where he likely worked as a farmer. With the region around him beset by mounting poverty, Giovanni immigrated to the United States in the 1890s, when he was over 40 years old, bringing much of his family with him. In effect, Giovanni was trading the hardships of a farm for the hardships of a factory. This is the 1900 census for Kent County, Rhode Island. Would you please read the transcription?
Giovanni Lombardi, head of household, 46, male laborer. Antoinette, wife, 47, housekeeper. Ernesto, son, 17, mill carter. Elvira, daughter, 11, mill spinner.
These are your great-grandparents, Giovanni and Antonia, living in Natick with two of their children. Your grandfather Nicola isn't here because he's back in Italy,
Right.
and he would join the family a year later in 1901. As you read, everyone but Antonia works in a mill, including 11-year-old Elvira. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the way it was. When Nicola later joined them, he worked in a mill as well. They were textile mills.
Mm-hmm.
Would you please turn the page? And you're looking at an image of the Knight Mill complex in Natick, and that is where your Lombardi family actually worked.
How about that?
Many immigrants look for jobs for the whole family, including children, and the laws,
That's what happened.
yeah.
I had no idea.
Life in the mills was harsh. Employees typically worked
Did
60
your mom and dad
hours
work in the mills?
in an environment that was
Mom
both
was
loud
housekeeper,
and
like,
full of danger.
like a
For
cook
house.
and so forth.
And your dad did construction?
Yeah,
Many
yeah.
immigrants,
And they worked for
including
Schaefer
Nancy's
Brewery?
great-grandfather
Well,
Giovanni, and her grandfather
Schaefer Brewery
Nicola,
got into
ended up
when I was about
returning to
5
their
years old.
homelands.
In fact, he would, during the war, he was just a little bit, he was a little bit over the age. You know, you can see the thing that on Schaefer, they got called to work in Schaefer, and I said one time, because I said, how come he started in that in 44 when the war was still going? And he said he got the call to go, and they said, you can't go because the war is still on, you know, from 40 to 45. And he said, I went, and he said, what are you going to do about it? Whatever. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't stop him. But he had waited, you know, so he was, you know, he was already in his early 40s, you know, so And as I remember looking at that, I says, "Oh my gosh, 17 years, when we could come out to California. That's a long time on one job." Well, of course, I doubled it. Most of us 35.
So
But
you
still,
started when you were 5, and so he retired when you were 19 or 20.
about 20, 21. We retired when we came
So
because I
how
was
many years was he at Schaefer Brewery?
17 or so because
He worked 17 years at Schaefer Brewery, and then he retired. And he never worked again.
no, just and we were
So
we
his
were.
pension covered him that far, or was it Social Security? He didn't even have a pension, or
Oh, well, I guess what he could get, at cause 62. First it was 65, and then they made it 62 a little later, But
yeah.
but
No, but yeah. So Schaefer, he only worked there for 17 years, and
uh-huh.
then he gets retired.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So
And they I remember
didn't
one
want
of
to
the
get a job.
coworkers had told me that they wanted to have a farewell party for him, and he said no, and I said I wish they had done it. That really,
Yeah, but
I
so
didn't
but
hear
he didn't want to get a job when in Santa Monica.
kind of. And the first place we lived was 923 6th Street, and was apartment, and then we went to Chelsea, whatever the one you've seen, the one across from the park, and we were there. Well, I was there till I married Mom, but but he and Mary were there like for years and years, and I remember that around 84, 85 or so, Mary says, "We're going to be living, for the first time, we're going to be living downtown." And I looked 6th Street, 844 6th Street, and I says, over there, I look, catty corner, 923 6th Street was our first address. She didn't know about it because she wasn't in the picture, at the time, whatever.
Did you ever think about going back to Ireland and live?
No, not that.
I mean, he went back there and he obviously stayed there for longer than he wanted to.
Oh yeah, that still rankles me. And you know what? It rankles me that nobody told me. Only the neighbor, Mrs. Brown.
He's an adult. He can do what he wants. It's not their business to tell you. It's like he can do what he wants.
Well,
You're a grown person. You need to ask your permission.
no.
But yeah, how long did you stay in Ireland when you went back there? A month, 2 months, 3 months,
longer
6
than
months?
that. It was
A year and a half?
maybe 5, 6 months. He went late June, and it kept putting off coming. Oh, first it was sister-in-law was going to. We heard that before we even went. Like 6, 8 months before, whatever. And but he says, "Oh, I was a pallbearer when she died, and Brother Dennis's wife, and nobody cared for her. They'd been Dennis and her had been in the States, but anyway, then he says, "Oh, kept putting it off, and he went back, and he came back, and he went to New York and stayed for about a week or so with Pat and Noreen, by the Pats and Noreens, and I kept putting up, and Mrs. Brown, the neighbor, he's got a girlfriend. He's got a girlfriend, even when he was in Ireland." And he says, "Oh, no, it's just." He would tell me, so yeah, ask him. I wrote him. Mrs. Brown said, "You've got a girlfriend that's keeping you over there," and he never answered the question. I guess I should have figured it, whatever. And when the day that he finally did come, he says, the bus, you could get a bus from the airport, and they'd stop at the Miramar Hotel, and where right next place right next to that, we had is where we would try to see Stan Laurel, because he was that one building. I told that story, and they said that no, drop a note and ask when you could come. Well, we did, never got an answer, but anyway, so he says, "Oh, just get the bus from there," And Mary came home, thought everything was ready, and he looked, and he said, "Oh, I see a thumbprint on the wall. But this place needs is a woman's touch," I thought, what? And later on, I says, Mrs. Brown said, "You had a girlfriend who was keeping you over there," and he didn't even look at me. He went, "What if I have?" And he didn't look at me straight. I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me down. I thought, he didn't tell me, whatever. And nobody told. And later on, Pat's wife Noreen said, "I understand the romance is going from one coast to the other coast. What do you think about it?" And I says, "Well, what I think about it, it would have been nice if some of my relatives told me. Nobody told me it, Ann Hannah said, she says, "We figured that he told you." No, he didn't tell me anything. Whatever, so.
Yeah, and then so your dad never went back to Ireland, and that was the first time back since he left.
No, in '52 he had gone, and
Well, he went. So what year was it? He went back. Eventually married his second wife.
it was 62, 10 years
62,
later.
and
my mother's
so
only trip was in
52. He went
56.
back in 52.
52 he had gone, and he
And
came
then
back.
yeah, and when your
that's-
mom went in 56, she didn't go with your dad.
No,
or you?
no.
She just went by herself.
Yes,
Why
yeah.
did your mom go in 56?
I wanted to go when at that
How
time.
old were you?
Going on 17.
17. So
And
you
so
could have
later-
went.
Oh
with
yeah,
her.
she says she was afraid I'd hear that Josephine was born out of wedlock. Well, so what? It's
She said that later.
later. Yeah. Well, so what? She was my half sister. That's
Yeah.
and,
But
close to
yeah,
her.
so you could have went in 56, but you
Yeah.
didn't. But she went. But she didn't go with your dad
No.
because I mean you could stay. Her and your dad could have went, and you could stay behind if that me.
Yeah.
Or you all could have went,
Yeah.
and your dad could have just showing you Carsavini. She could have just
Yeah.
went to
Uh-huh.
her
Hartford,
Hartford.
Tralee. Yeah. Tralee, Hartford.
You know that's what they could. You all could have went, and then you could stay with your
Yeah.
dad in Carsavini, and your mom like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. And you took a bus or something to Hartford, and that way to protect you from that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So your mom went in 56, and that was the first time she'd been back since she left.
Yeah.
Only one time. And so your dad went back in
52,
52
and
and
62.
62, and then he came, and the first time he came to America was you said 19.
When he came back
Yeah,
to me,
we know
it
when
was,
for the very first time.
24, 25, I think.
1924,
Well, he was
1925.
closer to 28. My mother would come younger. She was 25.
Yeah.
What does that
Oh, is
say?
that your phone?
But she had come younger.
Yeah.